Good morning on what is a mild, grey and overcast day. I'm in the Reed Nook with a nice hot cup of tea and a cat who is not ours. So I'm going to open is this parcel, which has come from the Merry Mushmen, those fine folks who who basically put together the Nook fanzine and other supplements. So I'm going to be really interested to find out what is in here. I really like their books. So let's get this package open. And what I have got is Black Sword Hack, the Ultimate Chaos Edition, game by Kobayashi, and also the Chaos Crier, which is a little zine for it. So let's get this open. I'm just going to get this plastic open. Just want to. There we go. So, Black Sword Hack. Before the rings had a lord, fantasy had other heroes. Thieves, gladiators, kings. Law and chaos battled over human souls. Heroes rose and fell. Build a world, watch it burn. Very simple, direct blurb on the back there. Okay, and inside, it's a really nice hardback. A bit of a crack as it opens. And we have a quote here: "There is no truth but that of eternal struggle." Michael Moorcock, The Weird of the White Wolf. So straight off, we know where we're drawing from for inspiration, which is the works of Michael Moorcock and the Eternal Champion, and a sword and sorcery setting. And to some extent, you can see that on the front cover with excuse me, allergies. With a gentleman with a very large sword and wane appearance, and yes, red eyes. So at the time of this video, there is no Stormbringer or Elric role-playing game in print in the English language. There is Mournblade, which is a French role-playing game, and you can find, and there is an English translation of the Quick Start for that. I do have a copy of that, and I want to review it at some point. That looks quite interesting. So, nice long length of forward, introducing by the design of the game. Before we get into the settings, so we have, it's a role-playing game of doomed princes, cunning vagabonds, and greedy mercenaries trying to prevail in a world torn apart by law and chaos. So you can definitely see the antecedents, the origins for this game. So there's the table of contents and the rules. Guidance for the usage style. This is a descendant of a couple of two different really kind of games. We have the Black Hack and the White Hack, and this is derived from the Black Hack, basically a fantasy role-playing game, which is old school Renaissance adjacent and player-facing. The players make all the rolls. So, for example, when they attack, of course, they roll to attack. When they are attacked, they roll to defend. Or if they're attacked by a spell, they roll to save. I mean, that, it's so on. It's that sort of thing, just as you would expect, but it's applied to the player throughout. So, and also, so we've got the usage die, and we also have a Doom die, which is like the usage die, and that's going to be counting down to Doom as you roll particular incidences, which necessitate its roll, and bring that down, bring the end closer to nigh, as it were. So very quickly, we are into combat. and essentially very quickly through the rules for weapons and damage, armor, shields, using two-handed weapons, recovery, and then we've got an example of combat which I like. It's always a case of I always come back to all right, you've done the tell, now do the show. It's a show and tell, and a role-playing game should be kind of written like that. So very quickly, the core rules, 4 pages devoted to the core rules, and then 3 pages devoted to combat, including the examples. That's how simple Black Sword Hack is. Then we get into character creation, and we've got some examples of sort of potential kind of what your player character might look like. And for the most part, you're going to look like a Dungeons & Dragons style character. I mean, certainly one inspired by that style of play. Because obviously Black Hack, and thus Black Sword Hack, is very much old school Renaissance adjacent. So we have origins, so we have barbarians, civilized, decadent. These all could all be random or selected. And then backgrounds, so barbarian, civilized, decadent, choose those, and you really sort of like barbarian, obviously berserker's unique, but it could be chieftain, herbalist, and so on. Civilized, inventor would be unique, but you would have sophist, so street urchin, or decadent, assassin is unique, but changeling, forbidden law, pit fighter, vicious warlock, and so on. And then we've got the final details about the characters there. And then equipment. Price lists. So the thing about the usage die, for example, is if you're firing arrows, you're in combat, you unleash a flurry of arrows during the engagement, and then at the end of it, you roll the die to see essentially how many you've used, but how many you've used and cannot recover. Because you've gone out and collected all your arrows back out of the corpses of the dead. Some of them are broken, unfortunately. So here we have experience, and it's different here. Essentially, you can have gifts. So you have gifts of balance, gifts of chaos, gifts of law, and then you can enter into dark packs and deal with other vileness. So demonic packs and spirit alliances. Become a sorcerer. We've got rules in here for finding and learning new spells, because that's going to be an adventure in itself. Oh, damn, there goes Leslie Nook. Back up there. It's a little bit windy today. And then you've got other options, including fairy ties. So, essentially you don't have to sort of stick to a world that is like that of the Young Kingdoms of Moorcock's Elric. You could easily send it off in the direction of the Fae, dealing with, and that would be like the world of Corum, or it could easily be, an alternate Albion. Send it off in the distance into the direction of Twisted Science. The world of Hawkmoon and Grand Bretagne. And of course, you can wield runic weapons to great effect and dismay, and then we get to the big best three. And it's easy. The other thing about this with the Black Hack is sort of like with the Black Sword Hack, is it's conversant with the rest of the line of Black Hack. So if you get the classic monsters book for Black Hack, plug this in straight in. So various beasts, serpent people, all of these. You don't have to use all of these. It would really kind of depend upon the kind of tone you're setting for your campaign, and it's so on. And of course, because it's an old school Renaissance game, we have what do you find on a corpse, and a table for that. And then we have create a world, and this is a section obviously for the game master, or the hack master if you will, or Black Hack master. So it's discussing things like law and chaos in your world, and has rules here for the struggle and what happens when the end is nigh. And then we have a regional city adventure seeds, things like places like adventures in seeds for adventures in the Forbidden City, mercenary bounds, Amber Enclave, Golden Archipelago, all kind of settings that you kind of find in the stories of Michael Moorcock. Basically, I'm the Eternal Champion. So you've got pages and pages of these, just lots and lots that the Game Master can work from. And what about balance? Discussing that point, the balance between law and chaos, and then finally dealing with the end game, as it were. Before we get into create your city. Your city's sort of like, whether it's a city that pops up throughout all of creation, or a city you're going to revisit time and again. So tables for that. Traveller's Tales, so travels for travel, because you're going to get away, you're going to go elsewhere. Dark Seeds, plenty of adventures, ideas, and then Adventure Slayers of the Blood God. So that's a full adventure. And then a city to burn sample city as well. And then in the appendices we've got advice on running a game for the Game Master, advice from the great old ones, and that actually quotes from various authors, so R.E. Howard, Robert E. Howard, Michael Moorcock, Fritz Lieber, Fred Saberhagen, Paul Anderson, and so on. And Black Hat, Sword Hack for the lone adventurer, so you can play it solo. Bibliography, and then your favourite Sword and Sorcery book as a plot generator. Dark Gods Oracle, conflict usage dice, friendly NPCs and combat the allies, of course, sort of extras you can bring into your game. A sample world. So that's drawn by Evelyn Moreau. Impossible creatures, strange planes, because the nature of the Eternal Champion is that it can be found anywhere, can travel anywhere, and your player character is going to go along with it. Names by origin, so you can do sort of like, if you're doing it sort of like in the real world or a version of the real world. So or just draw this as inspiration as you're playing. And then we've got the character sheet, which is really nicely dominated by the sword. I like that. That's a nice touch. It's really kind of a simple character sheet, but that just dominates. So yeah, and then we've got a glossary at the end. So yeah, that is Black Sword Hack. Okay, the next best thing I would suggest to having a Stormbringer game, and you can find one easily. You can track one down. There's plenty available to buy, but I think this is going to be your absolute best option if you want to run that sort of game in the old school Renaissance. Anyway, so yeah, that's Black Sword Hack Ultimate Chaos Edition from the Merry Mushmen. Hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, please do click on the like button down below, and of course if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with package containing a book or game, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. Be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.